What's up guys, I'm Brian Kachinsky and it is my absolute pleasure to show you all my GT Pro Performer. The GT Pro Performer was basically like the holy grail of bikes. There was all the bikes lined up that you could buy, the BMX bikes, and we'd look at them one by one, and then up above that on this, basically on this pedestal, was the GT Pro Performer. So having this bike and riding this bike now today is just like a childhood dream come true. GT was started in 1972 by a dad named Gary Turner, and Gary just wanted to build better bikes for his kids. He teamed up with a Southern California bike shop owner, Richard Long. Before you knew it, GT was everywhere. Well, fast forward to 1984, it was time for them to be dominant in freestyle too. GT introduced the Pro Performer, designed with input from Bob Morales and one of the best bike riders on the planet, king of the skate parks, the Eddie Fiola. With Eddie behind the bars and a GT underneath him, the BMX freestyle program just blew up, and the rest is history. So when there was talk about bringing back the iconic GT Pro Performer, what GT did was they took that overall look and they updated its strength, they updated its geometry. Almost makes me envious of the time period we live in now, where you can just ride a complete bike straight out of the box and it'll hold up. Starting at the front of the bike, you'll see the sealed front hub, which is a GT Super Lace high flange hub. It basically has female axles. It's also a female axle in front and back. Everything kind of comes together really nicely when you're assembling it. My favorite part about this front wheel is the tires. Basically, the first bike I ever had was a GT Vertigo. It had these tires on it, and when they brought them back, they kept with that same look. Perhaps the best improvement they made on these tires is the quick release sidewall. Basically, the tread kind of tapers off into a smooth section on the side of the tire. When you're riding with wider width tires and you're grinding, it kind of tends to rub against the side of the rail or the side of the ledge, and that just slows you down. And you know me, I don't really like to slow down in a grind unless yeah, my favorite tire on earth, really. GT cheat code handlebars. These handlebars are just shy of 8 inches rise, and they have 5 degrees up sweep and 9 degrees back sweep. I usually like my bars about 27. Cut about an inch off each side. For me anyways, that just made it feel a little more like home. I've been riding brakeless now for years and years, so it had been a long time since I really worked on brakes and really adjusted brakes. The Springfield brakes were just so easy to set up. They just have a unique design where they have the one spring in the center, and I put a little bit of lubricant in the brake cables and they were good to go. Front brakes are very fun for me. I mean, having front brakes on a bike again, I've just had a blast kind of trying to bring back old tricks that I used to do. And with some success and a little bit of failure here and there. The grips on this bike are the GT Super Soft grips. Grips to me are a really important part of the bike. Grips and pedals especially, they're the two contact points of the bike. It's really important that grips are comfortable. GT kind of figured out that compound of the right balance between durability and comfortability, really. The stem is a GT mallet stem. It's a front load stem. Has that sort of iconic old school GT logo right in the front. Actually, this stem is one of the most iconic stems in all of BMX freestyle history. And so getting to ride a version that's an updated version of that, but that has so many nods to the original version has been really cool. Moving to the middle of the bike, we have the GT Power Series aluminum cranks. So they're 175 millimeter cranks. Comes with a 28 tooth GT sprocket. 28.9, it's kind of a harder gear than I'm used to riding. Makes you feel a little less like like a gerbil on a treadmill. Although I kind of like that feeling. I like the quick start of 25.9, but moving on to the back wheel, this is a cassette hub in the back. I've never had like a fully loaded 4 pegs, 2 brakes, and a free coaster setup, so in the future that might happen. The pedals are the GT PC logo pedals, so they're a plastic pedal. And I really like a flat pedal because I feel like my foot can sit flat on it and get all of the grip out of the pins, if that makes sense. Yeah, I love these pedals. They've just been amazing and they always hold up. You'd think the seat would be like really snobby and uptight, but it's, as you can see, it's just when I pulled this bike out of the box for the first time, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna build it up with the laid back coaster because that's what it comes with. And I put this on and I started riding it and I actually liked it. The laid back seat post gave me a little bit more room in here. The seat itself, I really like the look of it. The GT logo here basically has that same font, the kind of classic old school GT font. When I sit down on this thing, it is, it's luxury. I didn't have to modify a whole lot on this bike. The only things I changed were really minor. I cut about 1 inch off each side of the handlebars. I cut maybe a few inches off of the seat post. And then I also added pegs. I love steel pegs just because of that sound and that feel. It's kind of just unbeatable for me. The whole bike in general, I mean, with the gumwall tires, decals I think are on point, and a bike that at least aesthetically looks like the bike that made me fall in love with BMX. It's like I said before, just a childhood dream come true. One thing that I think is kind of iconic about this frame is the curved down tube. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know why it's curved. But my thought is that the first GT Performer was designed, people were doing kind of a lot of like foot jam, kind of front brake, but with your like flatland stuff where your foot would need to go there. I'm assuming that that just gives you more foot clearance and gives you more room down there. I don't actually know the true answer. So if anyone out there knows why this curve right here exists, let me know.
Hey Brian, I have your answer. Eddie Fiola here. Bob Morales and myself helped design this frame for GT. We needed to be able to spin the bars all the way around. The original brakes that normally come on it are like an MX-1000s, and the caliper was up high and it wouldn't let us spin and do full cross-ups. We had Gary Turner design this bend so that we could do this, and it worked out really well. And then with the invention of the gyro and the Potts mod, an idea I had, Steve Potts helped design it and make it, and it helped the whole community doing freestyle. All right, later, Brian.
That childhood dream of like seeing that bike at the bike shop up on the pedestal and wanting one for myself. So here we are, 2021, and I got one for myself, so I'm psyched. An absolutely beautiful but tough remake on an old classic. Thank you, GT. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you BMX for being the funnest thing on earth.